Aloha everyone, this is the adventure of our messy but perfect move to Maui. Mistakes will be made. Currently, I am shuffling the machine side to side in order to get the outriggers to clear the inside walls of the container as we back the machine out of the container. It looks like the machine's sitting on the floor of the container, which it is. I let the air out of the tires in order to get the cab of this backhoe to fit inside of the container when I loaded it 2 weeks earlier on Whidbey Island, which is a small island just north of Seattle, Washington. Here I'm checking the clearance at the top of the cab because the components are dragging on the door and I need to get as much clearance as I possibly can. Currently, you'll be seeing the backhoe getting shuffled again to clear the fenders and tires of the close quarters on the container, and also you'll be witnessing the roof almost rubbing on the top of the door. In fact, it is rubbing on the top of the door. And as I get out and inspect it, there's a plug on top of the cab that was rubbing so hard it actually cracked part of the housing, but a small price to pay to get my backhoe on island. Now I'm checking to see how hard this is actually rubbing and what I can do to somehow get better clearance. So I stick the backhoe out as far as I can to put weight on the flat rubber tires in order to squish them lower and give a few more millimeters of clearance on the cab. I was finally able to get the highest part of the cab clear of the door. Now it's a matter of maneuvering the machine to slowly bring the backhoe cab the rest of the way out of the container. Then I can continue the unloading process. As you can see, the tires are flat and I'm putting as much weight on them as I can in order to get a little bit more clearance at the top of the cab so I don't rip the components off that are protruding slightly above the cab. Finally, I'm clear, and now I can move rearward using the attraction of the front tires. Because the machine is a four-wheel drive, they will help push the machine out of the container. So you'll see the rear tires spinning. That also means the front tires are spinning and helping move the backhoe rearward. Should be a breeze from this point. I do have to keep the front loader bucket sitting inside so that that rocking motion that you saw is prevented. The front loader is rigid, but the tires pivot when the weight is only on the front tires. Now again, I'm continuing back, use the motion of the tires to help. Soon the backhoe will clear the container and I will have to drag the front bucket out using only the rear backhoe bucket. Once the front end of the machine has cleared the back of the container, I can raise the front bucket, which allows the front wheels down. I can raise the rear backhoe arm, which allows the back end down. I'll raise the outriggers and the entire machine will settle down on the flat tires. Once settled down on the flat tires, I don't want to move and ruin the tires further, so I will readjust the rear backhoe, push it down on the ground, which raises the back end of the machine, and I will drag it backwards to completely clear the container with the front bucket. Once finished, I'll leave the backhoe in position, remove the rear tires, and we'll get new tires to be seen in a subsequent video. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to see further videos on our messy but perfect move to Maui. Remember, mistakes will be made. Shaka shaka.